Hey everyone, what's happening? Welcome to Maych TV. It is Monday, we're live. If you've got any thoughts on the things I'm about to discuss, let me know in the comment section. I'll read through some of them in a little bit. But the news, is that Liverpool are apparently closing in on negotiations for Ibrahima Konate from RB Leipzig, which I think is really, really interesting. It wasn't what I was expecting to hear on a Monday morning in a random international break toward the back end of the season. I mean, look, we were all shocked when the Fabinho transfer went through, like hours after losing the Champions League final, and we all thought that was incredible piece of business from Liverpool. And we had a bit of a surprise when the Naby Keita deal was announced, but it was going to be a year on and all that kind of stuff. Liverpool have gotten really good at transfers, really insanely good at transfers. In the Michael Edwards era, as it were. Really, really interesting to see that the club have obviously identified the centre-back thing as an issue, and they've gone, okay, well, we're going to do everything in our power to rectify that. Now, it's really interesting, this, because a good mate, Chris Williams, who's a Bundesliga expert, I was talking about this earlier on the Redmen YouTube channel, he thinks the plan is to keep Kabak and add Konate as well. Now, there's no reference of what that means in terms of Liverpool's currently owned centre-halves. What does it mean for Nat Phillips, Gomez, Matip, etc.? So we don't quite know them, but we'll speculate on a bit of that as we kind of go along. But I think, let me know your thoughts. You know, if Konate, is that floating your boat, and what does it mean? Now, the Echo, they have put an article out suggesting that there's there's 5 players on Liverpool's defensive shortlist, and Konate is just one of them. Now, to my reading of it, and I read it several times just to make sure I wasn't glaringly missing anything, it was, they only named three. They named Ibrahima Konate, they named Dijk, culeta-car, and they mentioned Kabak as well, because of course Kabak's only on a season-long loan from Schalke at the moment. There's no obligation to buy as well tied into that, although there's I think it's like 15 million is the fee and what have you. So it's interesting. In fact, we had a comment come in straight away from Anthony Byrne. Thank you, Anthony. Says listen to the Blood Red podcast, and they are saying it's one of Konate and Kabak, not both. That is very, very interesting, because maybe it means they've looked at Kabak and gone, he's not possessing of what they need, or is there something wider here? Because I think it's mad. For me, I think Liverpool need 2 centre-halves in the summer, and I think as much as they will have a short list of 5, that's fine. You look at what you've got, and this is why I think Liverpool's shortlist needs to be extensive, when I think they need to make sure that they get the right signings in the summer, because Virgil van Dijk, not his first major injury, but I mean, it's a cruciate knee injury. I think it's on a par with nothing in terms of major injuries. It's a class all of its own, because obviously he had an injury just before joining, whatever, it's a side note. He's had a major injury, and he's, 29 years old. It's not the best time to be getting a serious knee injury, of course, but yeah, it's a major injury, and it's a major one that's going to take time to come back from. Joe Gomez had another season-ending injury, and Matip's had a season-ending injury. Now, all 3 of those are supposed to be back for pre-season training, hopefully. There's a chance that Van Dijk might be back a little bit before that. The Bear was talking, the Dutch coach, about how he's hopeful to have him available for the European Championships, which would be insane as far as I'm concerned, but whatever. So you're coming into the summer where your 3 main centre-halves are back again. But as we've seen this season, look, this season I don't think there was any accounting for. You don't account for Virgil van Dijk getting a season-ending injury. You don't. Now, you can account for Gomez and Matip missing games, because that happens to them. But also, you can't account for them having season-ending injuries, because they're massive things, and they're not meant to happen very often. But you're now coming into a summer where, having had serious injuries, what players are you getting back? And even if Virgil van Dijk has not lost a step, and Gomez can just pick up, they're not actually physically going to be able to come back in. I don't think, having lost the season to injury, and go back to playing 50 games in a season. So what Liverpool need to make sure is they've got depth in that position. I genuinely have this feeling that Liverpool are going to go big this summer. And big normally, I think we'll go big, 150 million. No, I don't think we're going to go like Mbappe big. But what I mean is, I think this notion that Liverpool won't spend money because FSG don't spend money, blah, 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 blah. I think they will, because I don't think they can afford not to. Because if they don't, because if Liverpool slip back, if Liverpool can't get themselves back up and running again, you've got to be able to write this season off and go, it was just a little bit of a slip. Yeah, we've taken that turn back. It's fine. But it wasn't indicative of the level that Liverpool are really at. But if you don't act fast, then that can quite quickly become your level again. We've seen it happen to Liverpool in the past. It's happened to Manchester United. It's happened to Arsenal. It's happened to all kinds of different football clubs that aren't backed by, mega billionaire sugar daddies, and even then it's happened to Chelsea as well at times. So Liverpool need to go into the transfer market and safeguard. Now, I think on paper, if you've got all three of them back, realistically you just need to replace Dejan Lovren. So you only need to go out and buy one, but I disagree in this particular instance. That's why I think we need two, and why I think it needs to be Kabak plus another, because I don't see the point of wasting the time on Kabak for half a season to get him up to speed. The money that you're paying for him, I don't think you're going to get much better than Kabak for the money that you're going to pay for him, unless they've looked at it and gone, we can get Konate for less than 40 million, and then Nat Phillips is so good that we're just going to tie him down. We'll give him another contract extension. He's got 1 year left on his contract in the summer, and you go from there. And then Van Dijk, Gomez, Matip, Konate, and Nat Phillips with Billy Cometio coming up through the 23s, and maybe you get more out of Reece Williams. Doesn't make me feel super confident, if I'm honest, but that's why I think for Liverpool, what they need to do, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, of course, as it always is that I would go deep. I would break the mould that we've set, and the mould we've set is normally to have a tight, small, robust crew, a gang of lads who are really, as injury resistant as possible, but you don't go over the top because you don't want a load of players who can't play football. But I do wonder whether this season you change your tactical plan, this season coming I should say, where you change your tactical plan and you actually have to rotate Virgil van Dijk, because the minute, what we've seen from Van Dijk so far is the only games he doesn't play are the cup games. He doesn't play the domestic cups, and that's it. He plays every Premier League game and he plays every Champions League game, unless he's injured, which, again, prior to this major injury, had never happened before. So I think you've got to do a situation where, and Man City have kind of had this, they've got a horses for course. You've got your preferred centre-back pairing, so you've got Bayern Munich coming in the Champions League. Well, you've got Van Dijk and ... whoever his best partner is, Gomez, Matip, or Konate, or whatever. But then you've then got a game at the weekend where you can bring lads in who are still, it's a higher calibre than we've been forced into this season, but still good calibre, and have got room to develop as well. So maybe your centre-back pairing for the weekend then becomes Konate and Kabak, and you've used Virgil to the best of his ability, but you've you know what I mean? You've kind of massaged your squad on the way through it. I think is absolutely ideal. Right, get some thoughts in. I'm going to quickly check through the comments. I've got a couple more points to add to that. But Robbie Brown with the £5 super chat. Thank you so much, Robbie. That's wonderful. If we're to challenge on all fronts, I don't think we need to move defenders out should this materialise. I feel for Nat, but that's football. I don't think we need to move defenders out. Yeah, look, Nat Phillips has performed an heroic shift. And there's nothing wrong with keeping him around. Like his idea, we don't know what his ideal world is. I think everyone's ideal world is to stay at Liverpool, of course. But Nat Phillips might be going, okay, look, this is as good as it's ever going to get for me at Liverpool. I might just go back into. I might be, he's too old to play under 23s football. You have to be an overage player in that. He might, if Liverpool buy one more centre half and keep Kabak, where does Phillips sit in the pecking order? It's going to be interesting to know whether Liverpool rank Phillips above or below Kabak. That's what we don't know. That's a real unknown at the moment. And I've not even mentioned Ben Davies. I don't quite know at all where he fits in to all of this. But and I've been talking about this. We do a show called the Reds News Roundup on the redmentv.com. It's like our streaming service, our Liverpool streaming service that we own. Which is dead good, by the way. I would highly recommend checking it out. But the point I've been making in recent weeks, there's been links to Koulibaly and there's been links to Raphael Varane. And I would go out and go back and spend a massive chunk on someone who's ready-made, because I think it shuts the door on any fears and it shuts the door on any perceived weaknesses from other teams and other football clubs. It goes, oh, well, Virgil van Dijk's not 100%. It's all right, you've got Koulibaly starting. Oh, unlucky. So well, never mind. Thanks for it. But you can rub your hands together, but you're not going to get past him. So all the best. And that's the kind of thing for me where I think Liverpool's mentality should be this summer. Now it's interesting to see. Let me know what you think. If there's a 5-man shortlist, the Echo is saying culeta-car, Konate and Kabak. Who do you think the other two names are? Because there's really, really strong links to Koulibaly that won't seem to go away. It was rumoured that they're trying, his agents are trying to make a move to Liverpool happen. It was mentioned again at the weekend in some rumours and stuff that yeah, he would be on Liverpool's radar. Now he's 29 as well, I think, 30. I think he's terrific, but he also plays on Virgil's side. But also, back to the point I was making, is that, okay, I'm not sure he would be made up to be in a world where he's understudy or whatever, but again, if you wanted to safeguard Virgil van Dijk and you wanted to safeguard Liverpool being a title challenging European Cup challenging side, you could do far worse than go out and get someone who doesn't fit your profile. But he just, it's like an incredible security blanket for that. I'm seeing a lot of points from people. I can't name anyone in particular because there's a lot of different people saying it. But talking about Konaté's injury record now, there's a really interesting Twitter thread which I will reference by Anna Woodbury on Twitter, who is Anna_Woodbury. Now I've not fact checked, but it reads very well sourced. And she's saying, understanding his Konaté's injury record since the Ornstein story broke, people are talking about his injury record, and basically go and read it, go and find it, go check it out because it is interesting. But her point is that he had one major season-ending injury from last year, which bled into this season, and then he picked up an ankle injury. But largely speaking, he's not injury-prone. He's just had one really bad injury and another injury that one of the things that you kind of pick up. And my point on this is that he's 21 years old. There's plenty of time for physical development. He's only just finished growing, and he's only going to become more solid and more robust as a man in the next couple of years as well. So yeah, do go and check that out if you want a little bit more on that. But I don't think Liverpool would go and buy an injury-prone centre-half, given the problems that we've got already with injury-prone centre-halves on the books. But I like the idea of going out and getting someone like that. I talked about maybe do you go and replace Matip? So do you just go, you let Matip go for whatever reason, but you need to go and get someone in that bracket of age and experience, and that's why I think like Koulibaly came in, is that you're upgrading Matip to Koulibaly. Now I'd want Matip, I'd keep Matip, I would keep him around, but if you get to choose, if he's only available for 20 games a season, that's sound, because he's your 4th or 5th choice centre-half. It's just whether you get to choose what they look like, and that was always Daniel Sturridge's problem, is that he was fit and available for X amount of games, and if you guarantee what they were, that'd be great, but you can't. So you can't bank on him, because if he's injured at the time when you need him, well, what's the point? There's no point of having him. And if he's fit when you don't need him, then it's a wage drain more than anything else. But I like the Koulibaly thing. I like the fact that Sven Botman's been mentioned as well as another one who's potentially on there. We know he was heavily linked in the summer. I've seen people here saying, Toby Holmes saying Phillips is above Kabak for me. Hope he does well, but I think Kabak has looked dodgy. Wow. Yeah, that's weird. I find the Kabak stuff really odd. And Steele, who's a regular contributor to Red Men, has a real beardless bonnet around him, which I think's mad. Kabak has suffered because he came in and he had that little collision thing with Alisson. He has that one where he scores the own goal, but it's not an own goal because it's offside. But people remember it as an own goal because we do that. It's like how we remember chances when it's offside and it's not really a chance, because you wouldn't be in there if the flag just goes up immediately. But then in addition to that, Nat Phillips has been so demonstrably good. He's doing all the big headers. He's doing all the really, really obvious match of the day highlight reel, sliding tackles and playing on the edge, and he's got his head all strapped up, and he's just a joy. He's an absolute joy to watch. So he's drawing the eye, and I think by comparison, I think people then go, well, look, I've made it's him or him kind of debate, and I hope that's not a debate. For me, I've got no problem with Nat Phillips. I really like Nat Phillips. I can see that there's a bit more of a player, there's a bit more of a footballer in there with Kabak, to be perfectly honest. Pank Shende, they're saying Konate smokescreen. Now that's the only interesting side note in this. This is just pure, let's just go full internet on this. I can't. Liverpool wouldn't have had this information coming out publicly. Now, obviously, the Athletic have got sources, and they're talking about sources in Germany that have led to this. So I can't imagine that Liverpool would have let this be public knowledge unless they're doing that to draw all the attention. It's like, you know, have a look, overlook, over. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. Look at that. And then just signing someone on the dotted line down here. That's optimistic, I think, at best, if that's a thing. But yeah, it's why not? Why not, indeed. Yeah, I mean, Harry J is saying Kabak is 20 and he'll improve and settle while gaining experience. That's exactly my thing. Like I say, I think Liverpool need 2 centre-halves because the world's mad and we don't quite know what the knock-on impact of this season's going to be on next season. There's going to be a cumulative fatigue thing that plays a part. There's going to be loads more injuries again next season to all football clubs. So I do think that I would genuinely... I would have more. And look, if you don't need them and you've got too many players and not getting game time, shit. Well, sorry, unlucky. We're going to have to manage that. We're going to have to find a way to manage that. It seems Liverpool can't afford to go in on demand. I think we need to be overstaffed next season because I think the squad was pretty well stocked this season. In the summer, I looked at it and went, that's a pretty deep squad. But I don't think we'll ever get as unlucky with injuries as we have been this season. But you've got to insulate yourself with the best of your ability. Trick Josh, hi Josh, good to see you over here. We all want to forward, putting all our eggs in one basket would be a mistake regarding Van Dijk. Should we look at buying some 40 million forwards instead of wanting Mbappe? Good question. There's probably another video on that. I might do that. I've got another video to come later on this week with me Super 6 Hold the L sponsorship, which I've just recorded today. It's a really good one. I absolutely nailed Flav, which is brilliant. Not like that, but you know, not far off. The forward thing, yeah, I think Liverpool genuinely needs at least one centre-half, probably 2, and another guy for the front line, because what about Origi, what about Shaqiri, and what about Minamino, and Harvey Elliott, and what are those? I think there's only 2 of them at best will be at the club come next season. But yeah, but let me know your thoughts on all of this actually in the comments, and I think that I might do my video on that later in the week. If you've got any topic suggestions, anything you'd like me to discuss, by the way, I'm cool with doing that as well. If it means you come back and watch on Wednesday or Thursday, then do that. Probably Thursday, actually. I've got some stuff on Wednesday, but yeah, Thursday will be the next video. Just a couple more comments. Rizla Lyrex says, Paul, when are you going to roast the next Man United player on Sky again? Epic. I don't think Gary Neville wants me back on. I have no idea. He's got no idea I am. But yeah, that was good fun. Yeah, if anyone ever remembers that. I think there's a video of that on this channel, actually, when did I say, is it like I owned Gary Neville live on Sky or something? If you haven't checked that out, do go and check that out. It was good, very good fun indeed. I mean, the big question is, I've had a lot of this, like, who's going to be part of Van Dijk? The lads who are able to get on the pitch most frequently will be the lads who are most frequently picked. It's just is the way it is. You know, big challenge for Gomez. Matip, I don't think we're ever going to get more out of Matip than we've had out of Matip. And then the challenge is on the likes of Ozan Kabak and Nat Phillips, and I keep saying Ben Davies, who's a hologram at this point. You know, he's an idea of a footballer. He's a fiction. He's a fart in the wind. I don't really know. But the good point is you know, makes you wonder. Just one last musing on this: if it is Konate or Kabak, is this what? That's mad. Yeah, and does it just speak to the fact that they were just desperate to get some bodies in January, and that was all they could do, and it was all just a scummy plan to just get someone better, someone half decent in for the rest of the season. That was the only way they could do it. And now if it is, that is an absolute, like, not very nice, but a genuine next level 4D chess masterclass from Michael Edwards if we've literally just loaned in Ozan Kabak, with all this talk about buying him 15 million, all that kind of stuff around him, simply just because it meant we paid $1 million, next to nothing, to have him on loan for half a season. Convinced Schalke to basically take on Jokdan Mustafi instead. Mad. That's mad. Yeah, great. Oh yeah, RJ, Ben Davies doesn't exist like the PS5. The PS5 does exist, I've got one. You just didn't have the staying power to stay up late till 4 o'clock in the morning like I did to get one. Rizla saying I've got to do a video on my opinion on Harvey Elliott. Yeah, good stuff. That's an interesting topic. I might well consider that. He looks like he's having an absolute belter of a time. That would be amazing if he can come back in and contribute next season. But yeah, I hope so. And yeah, Martin, I do think LeBron James will convince Mbappe to join us. Why not? But on the Mbappe thing, I can't see a world where Liverpool buy Mbappe without Salah leaving, but no one can afford to buy Salah. Who are the only people in the world who can afford to buy Mohamed Salah? PSG. Just saying. Right, boss. Thank you so much for everyone joining. Thank you so much to the guys who super chatted. That's awesome. Yeah, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed to the channel. That helps in a big, big way. And yes, I'll be back. I'll be back Thursday. Yeah, we're doing a pre-record for this one. I'm also on the Super 6 YouTube channel, which is going live Tuesday night. So check that out as well. And if you have a comment on that stuff, just say Maych sent you, and make sure you vote for someone who's not me to hold the L on those shows. I don't like holding the L. It makes me look shit. Payjack's never held the L, and I don't want to hold the L either. It's about, by the way, this week's show coming up is the greatest Premier League forward of all time. Yeah, I'm going to need everyone's help in that. That'll be lovely. Oh, Ali, what's with the old TV? Plays VHS, mate. VHS it means you can play. Means I can watch WrestleMania 4 and Royal Rumble 90 maybe, and old school video, Liverpool beating the Blues, which is that one there, which is great, yeah. And I've also got, there's actually, yeah, I'll just show you, there's actually there's a DVD one next to it as well, for watching DVDs, right? Yeah, no problem with that. Right, nice one, everyone. Yeah, have an amazing day. The sun is shining. We're on the road to freedom, fingers crossed. Yeah, and I'll see you all on Thursday. Do make sure you subscribe to the channel. That's boss. Thank you. Bye.